you can't track it. Like you can't, like the time that you spend on some of these things. It's just
why bother?
Countless hours just of consideration for even some of the smallest minute details of things, you know.
That's kind of something you have to be fine with. Like that's something you have to be comfortable with.
Yeah. I wouldn't tell any person, I wouldn't recommend they do this at all. Like I would not just anyone just be like, yeah, just start a business. Like just be an entrepreneur. What's up, everybody? It's the Poorly Edited Podcast, the show where we put a spotlight on some of the most creative minds we can find as best as a couple college kids can do.
Not very well. This is my Pat Lilly impression. My name's Pat Lilly. We
got Zach on the board
having
today.
An identity crisis over here.
Crisis. We had a little slow start here because Pat is who runs the board since the dawn of time. And
actually, as it turns out, if he's not here, nothing works. So
it's true. The entire station just would not function in our favor, but we got it working. Pat's in Portland, Oregon right now, filming an episode of Portlandia with Fred Armistead.
That's really funny.
I'm just kidding. That's not true. No, but he did visit the Goonies beach where the Goonies was shot yesterday. Yeah. He was there, so I can't wait to see pictures of that.
Did he tell you about that? He didn't tell me about that. Oh man, you guys are going to movies without me. You got secret conversations.
I'm sorry. Yeah, so it's just me and Zach here and Lizzy on the cameras in the studio at WXLV, the X. I'm Chandler Davis.
My name is Coffee Guy.
And this is going to be a chill session today. I'm not going to lie. We've been going. People are...
Just wait till the ads don't work.
Yeah, just wait till...
I'll tell you what, dude. I'm excited.
Again. Amress was supposed... This episode was supposed to be much different. Amress Farrow got...
Immediately blaming her.
Yeah,
wow.
She got very sick, unfortunately. No, it's not her fault, but she got very sick. Unfortunately, she couldn't make it. We had to move some stuff around and reschedule some stuff. So it's just going to be a bit of a different vibe today. We're taking a chill pill. We're calming it down a little bit. And yeah, we're just going to be hanging out. We're just going to be shooting the breeze about probably way less interesting stuff than normal, which even normally it's not interesting. So it's going to be extremely underwhelming. Although I do have to say right now, like history is unfortunately unfolding at the moment in Paris. Right now, the Notre Dame Cathedral is on fire. The spire just collapsed because of the fire. The roof of the cathedral, I believe, is also collapsing or has already collapsed. And it is extremely sad. It's a huge historical, monument in Paris. It's a big part of Paris's identity. It's been around since 1260. It started being built in 1160, finished mostly around 1260. It's been around for a minute, and to see it ablaze is definitely gut-wrenching for especially everybody that lives in the city that sees it every single day. I'm sure it's very hard. I was watching the live stream. It's not looking good. The entire top of the building is just on fire. The smoke is just billowing, looming over the city. Ashes are falling, throughout the city, and everybody's just kind of standing around and watching in shock.
I don't know too much about it. Hopefully nobody was hurt. I don't really know if there's stuff going on inside.
I don't think anybody's been hurt yet. They think it's because of the renovations that were being taken place, that the workers were doing. Something must have went wrong, and unfortunately it caught fire today. But yeah, it was popularized by Victor Hugo's novel, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, in 1831, as some of you might remember. There's also
Was that a stab?
There's also the Disney movie, as well. It kind of fell out of favor during the French Revolution when it got a bit vandalized, as I think the rest of Paris and France did during that time. But it came back into favor when Victor Hugo's novel came out, since became very popular. And the building was revived, and they've been taking very good care of it ever since. And it's just very unfortunate. You know, they've done many campaigns of cleaning and restoration over the years, and it's just very unfortunate to see this happen to. I was saying before we went live, I was like, I can't remember another instance of something like that happening to like a monument like that, a historical, you know, building or anything like that.
It's been around for such a long time.
Absolutely, yeah, it's insane. They predict that the wooden structure is probably going to collapse.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't know if the way they're fighting it, I really don't know what they're going to be able to do to save it. It's once something like that gets really out of control, which this definitely has, you know, it's very, very hard to save, you know, the building, especially the interior. I mean, there's so much history that's going to get lost, unfortunately. It's very sad, honestly. It's sad to watch. Everyone's very upset in the live streams. It's hard. But yeah, so I felt like it needed to be mentioned. I just found out about it like right before we went live when we got here.
I came here and everybody was very somber. I'm like, well, I know I have to run the board, but it can't go that bad. So I don't know what the big deal is.
And then you found out.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So how's your week been?
It's been good. That's been good.
Seen a lot of movies.
I've managed to kind of accidentally watch a lot of movies. It wasn't planned, but
I may have watched even more than you.
Really?
Yeah, because so I knew that I'd have to cosplay Pat Lilly, so I figured it was a good idea to catch up on movies I should have seen like a decade ago. Okay. So Quentin Tarantino has his movie coming out. I'm like, it's probably time for me to watch Django Unchained and The Hateful Eight. So I did that for the first time.
Awesome.
Those were cool.
How'd you like them?
I don't have a whole lot to say about Django.
Really?
Samuel L. Jackson really took me by surprise because he normally kind of plays like the same character in Tarantino flicks. Yeah. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but this was totally different. He was a completely different character. I thought he did a really good job.
Yeah.
But we don't have to talk about movies that actually came out 10 years ago.
What about Hateful Eight?
Yeah.
I actually just
Hateful Eight is one of my favorites. That's really good.
I recently saw Hateful Eight.
Yeah.
Like last year.
For the first time.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that was that kind of more felt old school to me in a good way.
Yeah.
I like the sort of like almost not really untraditional, but the 3-act structure really kind of like sticks out in that movie. It's like all the caravan stuff and then like inside the inn and then the change that happens when they like go back and they show like the 4 passengers getting there for the first time. I really liked all that stuff. I love Michael Madsen. He's great.
Yes.
Tim Roth, who plays the British guy.
Yes. I always loved Tim Roth.
Yeah. And after we were done watching it, Sam was like, I really liked the sort of mystery aspect of it. And I really liked Tim Roth. I'm like, we should watch Reservoir Dogs.
Yes.
Because it's like the same thing with the same character.
I was going to say
so
that.
Then we watched Reservoir Dogs.
Hateful Eight reminded me a lot of Reservoir Dogs. It's very similar in the whole, like, there's this loose mystery and there's these people that are all stuck together in a very confined kind of space and hold up. And it almost feels formulaic in that sense where you're watching and you're like, but it manages to still be like, it's like, I don't even care because it's so exciting.
2 nights ago, I think.
Reservoir Dogs?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Reservoir Dogs a lot.
Yeah.
That was a very low budget film that he did.
For sure.
And it was, he knocked it out of the park.
You can tell like so much of it's handheld.
Yeah. I also just recently watched Reservoir Dogs for the first time, like probably last year.
Okay.
I think.
Same.
Lizzy and I. Yeah. Just one of those that just kind of like flew under my radar. They don't play that one on TV or anything as much, so it was just something that I hadn't
Understandable.
done. Yeah, understandable. Have a nice day.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I love Quentin Tarantino films for sure. I'm a huge fan, and I can't wait for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It looks really good. Just saw the trailer.
Is that a thing that has happened? The trailer?
The trailer's out. Yeah.
Okay.
We saw it in the previews before something. Maybe it was Pet Sematary, actually.
It might have been Pet Sematary.
But yeah, I'm really excited for that. We've been anticipating this movie since like a year ago when it got announced that they were
cast was released.
when the casting was being done. And still,
big fan of Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah,
for
who else
sure.
And
is in
Margot
that?
Robbie, Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt's in it. There's a lot of people in it, actually. I can't remember off the top of my head. Everybody.
Any like old school Tarantino actors or sort of?
I'm sure Samuel's
like
in there
sure
somewhere.
I'm sure everyone's going to make an appearance at some point.
Seeing
he has his favorites.
Yeah, because even in Kill Bill, he's in there.
Yeah.
You know, just a little bit.
He's the piano player.
Yeah.
He's not in Reservoir Dogs.
No, he's
But-
not.
I think that was before they started working together. So.
Yeah, that was really with Pulp Fiction. Man, Christoph Waltz is on another
No, it was with
planet.
no, they first started working together. I think it was what's that movie?
Which one?
The one with Samuel L. Jackson, the one with the chick,
Jackie Brown.
Jackie Brown. Yeah,
Did that come out before Pulp
yeah.
Fiction?
I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. I don't think
know.
so.
Can we get a fact check?
Oh man, that's my job.
Yeah, it's
isn't
your
it?
job,
Oh,
yeah.
Jeez, hold on, everybody.
What came first, Jackie Brown or Pulp Fiction?
Can you fact check for this?
Pat, can you
please?
message me, please? Can you call us up?
How does he do this?
I don't know, dude. It's a lot of multitasking involved.
Jackie Brown. Oh, this is a disaster. No, oh man, 1997 was Jackie Brown.
Really? Ooh, then I think that might have
Pulp
came
Fiction
after.
was
Pulp
before
Fiction was
then.
94.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, I was wrong. I'm sorry.
Just wait for my trivia round, dude.
Pat doesn't do that anymore.
Well, it's because we have other. So I'll be honest. This will be we'll have a little candid kind of podcast here, which is I think sometimes we try to put on you try to put on a bit of showmanship for everything, and you want to have the facade there, but it is a facade. I do want to be clear that the way we carry ourselves on here is not it's usually very flying by the seat of our pants. We just act very cool about it. So the whole trivia thing early on for the show is always like it was a crutch because it was like we have no idea what we're going to do for like the last 15
segment
minutes.
4, we'll just do trivia. We'll just play a
segment
game.
4, let's cop out and then just do a game that
That's
takes
the only
very
reason
little
I'm
effort.
here, man. Come on.
Why?
Because I got that memento question right.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's a crazy throwback.
Yep.
Yeah, you were the first trivia winner,
I was.
actually.
Yep.
That's
got a
insane.
signed autograph or signed picture of Bruce Willis.
Yeah, signed by us.
Yes.
Not Bruce Willis.
Yes.
Yeah. We're on episode 670, actually. This is a 70 that we're filming. Right
Well,
kind of. We'll see.
yeah. who
We
knows?
We filmed another episode on Saturday.
Yeah.
You weren't there.
I wasn't there. Why don't you talk about
Idiot.
that?
We so the band Dream Theater was playing a show in Upper Darby at the Tower Theater on Saturday, and we had hit them up a few months back, and Amres hit them up a few months back and actually set up an interview with their keyboardist Jordan Rudis, and he for some reason accepted the invitation, and so
Must have been bored.
yeah, he must have been very bored. We drove out there, and Lizzy, Amres, and I, and we did an interview with Jordan Rudis. And I didn't realize when he accepted the invitation until I was doing the prep for the writing the script. I didn't realize how interesting and busy and highly talented and intelligent that person is. So as I started to do the prep, the more scared I got of needing to do a good job, because he's like literally a child prodigy. Like he started playing piano at like in 2nd grade out of nowhere. And I think it's because he has perfect pitch. So like people like that, they can just hear music very well
must
right
be
away.
Nice.
Yeah, I actually asked him about that in the interview, so hopefully you'll see that
No
when it comes
spoilers?
up. Yeah, no spoilers. But
Hopefully, like I'm just gonna cut it out of the show out of spite for not being there.
but yeah, he's just like, and he's so intelligent, so well spoken, such a nice guy, and he makes apps for creating music in new ways, like synths on iPads and stuff that are like very comprehensive and very well done. And he was demonstrating them for us on his iPad, and he even let Amres touch his iPad, which was a big misplay.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he's on a list now.
Yeah, he's on the list for sure. But no, it was great. It was a really good time. It was really cool to be there because it was before the theater was open to the public. So they were setting everything up. Like the band was doing sound check, and everybody was like bringing the stuff in from the trucks, all the roadies and the crew and stuff. It was just a cool environment to be in, where all that's going on. And then where we ducked into this lounge, Gigi's Lounge in the Tower Theater, and we were interviewing him while all that was going on. Excuse me. It was just a very, very cool environment to be in. And actually in Gigi's Lounge, there's a window in the back behind where he was sitting for the interview, and you could just see the stage, and they were doing lighting checks, and the crew was all like on the stage, and it looked like so
I've seen a show there before.
Really?
I don't remember what it looks like at all.
Why?
There was a period of time where I saw like 4 concerts of the same band within like a year, and I don't remember them at all because it's just all blurred together. Is that the place that has a giant chandelier?
Yes.
Okay.
In the lobby.
I sort of remember that. It's like a kind of smaller.
It's smaller. Yeah. It's beautiful.
Cool.
Yeah, it's very pretty on the inside.
Yeah. And it's actually they have a bunch of like mural kind of like whatever things on the walls near the ceiling, like the marquees that they've had over the years, like different people who've played, like Radiohead, Sold Out, all that stuff. And they had one which was Always Sunny in Philadelphia, The Night Man Cometh, sold out.
Wow.
And I didn't realize that's where they filmed that exterior shot. I don't know if they filmed it actually in the theater. I doubt it, but they filmed the exterior shot at the Tower Theater for that episode. And
How often do they film in Philly? I haven't actually seen that show.
I would probably say mostly for exterior stuff or stuff outside where they're like, they're supposed to be like in the city.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if that was a dumb question because I don't watch the show. So I didn't know if they were just like always outside.
When they go to restaurants and stuff, they're like Philly restaurants that they go to.
That's cool.
They do come out to, I know they do come out to Philly to film some stuff because I remember Danny DeVito like being out in Philly. It's like they do have to come out for some stuff, but probably as much as they can film in LA, they probably do. You know?
Understandably so.
I don't know though for sure. I don't actually know, but that's from what I do know. But no, so it was just that was a really cool experience and everything went surprisingly very well. Lizzy managed 2 cameras, the H4, the laptop audio, like she was doing everything because we were very understaffed.
I didn't know you used the H4. That's good.
Yeah, we had Jordan laved up. So I had this thing where I was like, I was so scared about asking this celebrity to, hey, can I run this lav mic up your shirt? Like it was just, it's just such an awkward thing because I'm very awkward and timid when it comes to those things in the first place.
You were probably the one person there, even worse than MRS, who just would have said it the wrong way.
Yeah,
or like the most awkward kind of way.
A funny thing, we met the guy that's like the manager of the Tower Theater or something, and his name is Zach, and she went, "Hi, my name's Zach."
She said that.
Yeah, and
it
she's
wasn't
like,
a joke.
Yeah, it wasn't a joke.
What?
She messed up. It was funny.
Oh no.
She probably meant to say, "Hi, Zach, I'm MRS," but she said, "Hi, my name is Zach."
That's funny.
When she went to shake his hand.
That's funny.
Dude, it was really BM.
Yikes.
Yeah, but yes, that was the only hiccup. But
while we were there, I felt really important. Like,
Yeah,
I felt like an important person.
All that other stuff's going on, which is really exciting.
And then you're just like, wow, he's actually taking the time to talk to us. Like that kind of felt like a wolf in sheep's clothing for sure. But it was really cool. Yeah, it was like, it was the real deal, And all the audio, I went back, during the production, both before, during, and after the production, and by after I mean like the next 24 hours, because I didn't get a chance to listen back to everything and watch the footage. So that entire time I was just like, something's going to go wrong. Like something's going to mess up. A camera's going to shut off, or the lav isn't going to work, or the audio won't be like, it won't sound right. It'll be too much reverb. Like it's all I was thinking the entire time. And then finally I went back and watched it yesterday and listened to everything. Awesome. Everything just sounds so good. Like the audio is the biggest thing I was concerned about because if the audio gets ruined, it's kind of like, ooh.
Yeah.
So the lav was like fantastic. I was really sweating because when he first clipped it to his collar, it wasn't positioned right. And I was like, I don't want to ask. I don't want to tell him to move it.
You got to be that guy though. You got to be that guy.
I had to. And thankfully I did because it sounds so good. And then when he was taking it off at the end, because he almost like got up and walked because he had to do sound check like immediately after that. Yeah. So he was getting up to go do that. And he almost forgot to take the lav off and like give me back the transmitter in his pocket. And he was like, oh yeah. And then the top thing, the lav mic, how that, what is it called? The muff or like the pop filter or whatever. Yeah. It always falls off. Yeah. Because it's not glued on or anything.
Right, yeah.
That came off like in his shirt when he was pulling it down, and it stayed stuck in his shirt. And he gave me the lav, and I saw it wasn't on there, and I knew immediately. I knew what had just happened. I was like, no. And I looked around the floor, and I was like, it's not on the floor. And then I looked at his shirt, and there's just like a bump in the middle of his chest in his shirt.
I'm gonna have to ask you to take your shirt off.
Oh no, dude, this is the precise nightmare I was scared of. And then I was like, Jordan, I think the top of the lab is stuck in your shirt. And then his manager's like, yeah, dude, it's like right there. And it's like, oh, jeez. And he like grabbed it. I was like, that's the worst case scenario for sure.
Well, speaking of awkward, we have to go to a break real quick. So we'll be right back. And we're back. Poorly Edited Podcast, WXLV. My name isn't Pat Lilly. I don't know what we're talking about. I have no idea. What are we talking about?
Well, I mean, there's a lot we could talk about. I mean, it's mostly what you want to talk about, Zach. I mean, I saw Hellboy.
Oh, let's talk about Queen City.
Queen City. Oh, I
Queen
forgot
City
about
was
that.
so cool.
Yeah. We went to the premiere of Queen City, Brandon Warner's film. He directed Queen City about Allentown Arts Fest 2018. It was premiering one time only at the Emmaus Theater, a theater I had never been to.
I'd never been to either. Cool. You can put different flavors on your popcorn. They have like 12 flavors. It was amazing. Flavor Station.
Yes. And we actually did a giveaway for 2 tickets to the film,
which was really cool.
That somebody won who was actually happened to be in the film.
Yeah, go figure.
Yeah. Of the drummer of Scruff Band.
Yeah,
I believe
I think so.
Yeah, very cool guy, very nice guy. So that was awesome. And and then we watched the film. You were there, Zach.
I was
actually, surprisingly.
Yeah, I know. Hey.
And it was a great movie. Honestly, I think it was very pure. It wasn't boring at any point. You know, it was just like a pure, objective view of the events at Allentown Arts Fest, you know, and the vibe and the feel and how it all was. And there's not any interviews or anything. There's no subjectivity or anything injected into it, you know, of like people's opinions of things or whatever.
It's just capturing it.
Yeah, it was just capturing everything and having the viewer decide for themselves if they think it's cool and if maybe they would like to go to the next one, you know, which I think is an interesting approach for sure for a documentary.
And it was so cool being at the premiere with a room full of people that my ticket, I think, said like 232. And I wasn't the last person to get a ticket. So we're talking like a couple hundred people were there with us. I'm assuming it starts at 1. And all of them were a part of, I'm assuming most of them were a part of it. Like going to the actual event, and the energy in there was just so cool. Yeah, they loved it. The reception was so good, and there was just this great sense of community there. We saw people we recognized. Egan was on it. There's some other people I'm pretty sure I've seen around before.
Matt Mulchaney did the sound design for it. Yeah, which I didn't know.
Classic Matt. We run into him like right before it's going on, and he's like actually running back and forth trying to fix the speakers.
Yeah. It never ends.
No,
he's always going.
I really liked the animation at the end of it.
Yeah, there's a lot of moments
that caught everybody by surprise.
Yeah, there's a lot of moments where they just go into these artistic visual styles of either capturing an era of filmmaking or something like that. And they nail it every single time. It's so weird how it worked to me. Like it was like the fact that they pulled that off. I mean, because they tackle so many different styles. They do black and white. Because it is shot
differently as it goes. Like just like from a cinematography standpoint, the way he shot it changed.
Yeah. Well, they shot it with like many different videographers, and then they put it all together. And there's a point where it goes into like this kind of ragtime sepia tone. Kind of filmic style. It goes black and white. It goes into this very late 80s kind of film. Clearly it was shot on film, and you know, it's very like there's a lot of bloom. The brights are glowing, kind of. All the lights have these flares on them. It just looked like something out of an 80s concert video, you know, but it was shot in 2018 and managed to capture that style so well. Yeah, there's just a lot of moments like that were really impressive, honestly. It wasn't even in emulation. It was that style, you know? And it was also cool because Brandon, you know, at the beginning of the film, he gave a little, you know, introduction speech, and he implored everyone.
Really I don't know, that was really cool.
I thought it was cool, and he implored everyone in the theater to be like, hey, when you see people you know, or things you were involved in, or anything like that, people you want to show love to, you make noise, you know, like be lively. Like this is our night, and I don't want this to be a quiet, you know, time, you know, let's all have a good time and get crazy. And it's exactly what people did. Yeah. And it wasn't like annoying or anything like that. It was like, it was just great. Like everyone was just riding this amazing high of like, we did this thing and like we all came together to put this show on, this grand show for several days, and this movie. And so there's just crazy vibes. And we went to the after party. You unfortunately had to go, but we went to the after party. We met some people who were in the film. We met Amrest talked to the owner of the Emmaus Theater and everything like that. It was really cool. Spirits were very high. Everyone was very nice and amazingly talented. And hopefully we're going to have some of them on the show in a bit. So I'm looking forward to that for sure. Queen City.
I'd say go see it, but I think it only shows once, right?
Yeah, you can't go see it.
So
if you didn't go see it, shame on you.
Wish you were there.
But yeah, no, I've seen other movies that didn't impact me nearly as much. Like Queen City definitely was one of the best movies I've seen lately. And, because so many of the films have set the bar so low, you know, we saw Pet Sematary, which is absolutely terrible. I saw Hellboy, the new reboot of that film, absolutely awful. Like, but it was so schlocky, and the CG was so bad. It was like comical, you know, like you could actually get a good laugh out of it. Pet Sematary, not so much. Like it was actually bad, like frustrating bad. But at least Hellboy was like, you could have fun with it for how it kind of knew how ridiculous it was being, at least, you know, and how bad the production value was. But they... I
don't understand that. Didn't they have a budget? Like,
yeah, $50 million, and they've made 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's all right.
So it's going well. But we also saw Howl's Moving Castle, the Miyazaki film that they're doing screenings of, which I actually didn't know they redid the voice acting for the American dub.
How did you feel about that?
I liked it. It was fine. I think everyone did a really good job. Christian Bale was in it. Like
really?
There's a lot of people that was like
Billy Crystal.
Yeah, I was not expecting this at all. But yeah, everyone did a really great job. They kind of cleaned up some of the animation and stuff too. I was kind of scared about seeing a film like that on the silver screen blown up that big, you know, because I was like, is that gonna look good that large with the animation and stuff and the frame rate and everything? But it did. It looked amazing. Like it was so cool to experience.
I'm sure they
like
take
that.
Steps to make sure that it's gonna look good.
Yeah, but it was a really amazing experience. I wish that the next film wasn't several months away, but
it's not. It's in May.
Oh, it's in May?
May 10th, I think.
Wow, that's less than a month away.
I think they have one every month.
Never mind that.
Okay.
I'm excited.
Which one is that?
I don't remember.
It's one that Dan was not a fan of.
Okay.
Oof. Yeah, but I really enjoyed it. I kind of just wanted to go home and watch more of them, but I'm like, well, they're showing all of them this year, so I should just wait and be patient.
That's what I would do.
Yeah. And yeah, I don't know. Like, the only enjoyment I get out of anything is like old stuff. It's both with video games, with movies, anything like that. Like even music a lot of the time. Like I just hate anything new that comes out.
Now I want to ask this instead. This is more relevant. What was the most recent movie that you liked then? Or the most recent, not even movie. It doesn't have to be movie because all we talk about is movies. And I don't even care anymore about movies. So
I hate movies.
What's the newest thing that's come out that's just shook you? Say it, go. No. Fine, do it.
Peaky Blinders.
That's not new though. But it's not that new.
But the new season's coming out soon.
That's true. I really did take a liking to Peaky Blinders, which is a TV show. I think it's really, really good. It's really, really well written. And I'm a huge history buff, so it's a historic time period that it's set in and everything like that. So you always get to they take a lot of care to make it true to the period and what was going on and how people dressed and talked and everything like that. It's just, I love stuff like that so much. I am such a sucker for historical. It's fictional, kind of. It's like loosely based on true stuff, but it takes definitely a lot of liberties. But yeah, I just love it. And Cillian Murphy is really, really good in it as the lead.
I don't know who that is.
Tom Hardy is also in it.
Okay.
Cillian Murphy plays Scarecrow in Batman Begins.
Oh, okay.
He's also going to be in a new movie called Anna. Yeah.
Or Anna?
Anita?
Yeah. No.
Anna.
Those two characters interact a little bit in the third Christian Bale.
Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because he's
I would
the
like to see
judge
more of that. Yeah.
in Dark Knight Rises.
That's funny.
Yeah, they kind of team up in this one.
Kind of. In Peaky Blinders.
No
Yeah.
spoilers.
No spoilers. Yeah,
So
Peaky
you're
Blinders.
saying-
I also loved La La Land. That movie really stuck with me.
That's
I saw
not
it like
recent.
a year
Well,
and
I'm
a
just,
half ago.
I didn't even mean like it has to be like super recent, but what's the last thing in like a recent memory
they really
that's
like-
really grabbed
yeah.
you?
I think Doom. I've actually been playing through
There you
Doom
go.
lately, and like
That 2016 Doom,
Yeah,
right?
2016 Doom. It's a really, really great reboot, and it's a very, very solid, awesome game that like makes me excited to play video games because of just how they've made it and all of the thought they put into like level design and just everything. Like, it just plays amazing. And then you also have like I've said it before, like Undertale and Lisa are two other games, especially Undertale for me at least, that really like are saving graces in my mind for what video games can be. And I'm pretty much at the point, and even when it comes to films and stuff, like I have so many old films that are so good that I haven't seen yet that I need to catch up with. And, there's like too much stuff to watch and play and consume and listen to, but it's pretty overwhelming. And then all the new stuff that comes out, in my opinion, is just so lackluster and so uninspired for the most part. So I'm just like, I'm fine. I'm actually at the point where I'm fine just going back and just enjoying the stuff that's already been made. That is good,
I did
like, there's
so much of that for such a long time though. Like I always reread books and always reread movies or reread. I always reread books and always rewatched movies and I replayed games. But like eventually, I just noticed that it was just so much more satisfying to watch something new. But it's hard because you don't know. Like I don't like rewatching old movies anymore. I want to watch like a specific kind of movie, but like it has to be good.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's going to be good.
Yeah.
And if it's not good, then it's not a good time.
Yeah.
But it's exciting to.
Oh, for sure.
Because like you can't re-experience things for the first time.
Actually, we saw Back to the Future in the theater like a month ago.
Oh yeah, because they were doing.
And I had
reshow.
never seen it that large because
Okay.
I used to watch it in my little VHS TV.
Yeah.
So seeing it blown up was like watching it all over again for the first time. Because I noticed a bunch of things that I never saw before.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I had just seen. I'm gonna be honest. I had just seen Back to the Future like this year. So
I've never seen it all
Because
the way through.
I made him watch it. That's why.
Yeah, because you made me watch it. It was just one of those things that just flew under my radar. Like some stuff just passes you by when you're like in your youth and everything, and then you don't get a chance. And that's more what I mean when I say the old stuff, like only consuming the old stuff. I don't necessarily mean I'm going to go back and only play through games I've beaten 100 times or watch movies I've beaten, because I don't like watching. I really don't like rewatching movies I've seen more than like once or twice tops.
Yeah.
And so, but I just mean there's so many other stuff that I never had the chance to, I need to catch up, and like that all exists. That's all still there. I'm fine with if they're going to continue, if the AAA games industry and Hollywood and everything, they're going to continue to churn out terrible products, then that's fine, because there's a bunch of other stuff that I missed out on before that I have to go back and do. So, it's like,
I guess
just kind of more at
I don't
peace
know.
with it at this point, because I've just kind of given up, honestly. Like I see so many new movies and try to play so many games, or even I just get excited for new games and then they end up being terrible before I can even play them, and I see the reviews and see how unpolished they are, and it's just like, it's not worth it. Like, I just give up, man. It's too much. It's getting your hopes up too much. It's very disappointing,
Well, I that doesn't happen to me too much because I kind of just know if something's going to be bad right away. Like you can kind of just look at it and be like, "That's AAA garbage. That's underdeveloped. They're stealing your money on Indiegogo." Like it's just.
They just announced Star Wars Episode 9. The trailer just came out. Yeah. I'm so not excited for that, dude.
I've said this before. I don't know if I'm actually going to see it in theaters. Like I don't care. Did you see that thing? And I don't know if this is real or not, but they were like, "Oh, who's directing it? I can't remember his name." The third one.
What?
Or the ninth one.
Oh, J.J. Abrams.
Is it? I don't remember, but I thought I saw something where they were like, "Yeah, he's fine if we just retcon the eighth one."
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, and that's not good.
Okay,
yeah,
like there's a discussion you can have about whether or not retconning's fine or not, but what? Like, that's. Can you imagine if they did that?
I can't. I don't think incredible. They can. I don't think they can get away with that at all. Unfortunately, as much as I would love for them to do it, because I wouldn't care. I wouldn't bat an eyelash.
That would be like history.
Hey, they retcon the entire expanded universe.
I knew you'd bring that up.
Yeah. They don't care, man. No mercy. But it's just like I remember when I saw the trailer for The Force Awakens, the first trailer for Force Awakens, bro, I got goosebumps. I remember that distinctly. I was like, oh, wow. And now...
I didn't watch his trailer yet.
Now I see the trailer for Episode 9, and I was just frowning. I was just actually like, I hate this. This is so bad. This is going to be so stupid.
Does it look bad?
Yeah, the trailer, it was literally on par with like fan film level, just quality and the amount of sense it made. Like, it was just so like bare bones. You know what I mean? It was like weird.
I think that's okay. I don't know. The last thing I want to do is... No, I just mean like
the set design. It was literally like Rey is just in the middle of the barren desert and then just one TIE fighter comes at her.
Yeah, you know what? That's not surprising at all to me.
Yeah, it's just like, is this exactly a fan film? Like, how much budget do you have? Like, what is this? I don't know. It's just weird, dude. I'm not excited for it. And then they also announced a new Star Wars game, Jedi Fallen Order, I think it's called, something like that. It seems like a maybe. Respawn is making it. Yeah. Okay. And it's a story-driven single-player game. Now, this is coming from EA, who said they're never going to do that because there's no money in it. And then Battlefront 2 did terrible. So they're like, oh, never mind. So, like, on that merit, I'm kind of like, okay. You know, they changed their tune. I'm interested there that they aren't totally flat characters when it comes to that. But I still don't think it's going to be good, you know? Like, I'm still not excited for it because I'm sure they're going to manage to ruin it somehow. Yeah, it just sucks how, like, I feel very nihilistic and cynical about everything and jaded, but I'm tired of it, man.
I just don't care anymore, I guess. I don't know.
Maybe we're getting old. I don't know.
No, you say that all the time about that. I don't think that's it. I just think it's like, well, maybe, I mean, sort of. Like,
you're old.
You grow up and you're like, yeah, you know, if it's bad, whatever. Like, fine. You know what?
I feel like, I don't know, like, just the last few years have just like really gone, they've like flown by, and at the same time I feel like I've changed so drastically of how I look at a lot of things and how I feel about a lot of things. Like, it's even crazy to think about just how long we've been doing this show.
Yeah.
Like,
geez.
I don't even actually, I mean, this is 70 episodes, 71-ish. We've actually recorded more like 74
it's probably
or
closer
5.
to 74 or 5. Yeah.
But some of those are just probably never seen the light of day for your benefit as the viewer. But yeah, like, it's just crazy to think about how just hit the mic. Just crazy to think about how long we've even been doing this and how far we've come as people, I guess, or at least me, just in general, like, in my opinions of things, especially like being more rooted now in more indie stuff and understanding more what makes artists tick and meeting so many people who are genuinely passionate about things and driven and very talented. I now, like, I feel like I see through the shallowness of other stuff so much easier, you know, because I'm otherwise surrounded by the complete opposite, where it is so genuine and it is so hungry and amazing.
Yeah.
And now when I go see like some of these Hollywood films, or I play some of these terrible video games, I'm just like, they didn't care. Like you just tell they don't care. Because I see when people care all the time, and it's always good. So it's like, you know,
when we saw Pet Sematary, I was like, I forgot that people only make movies for money sometimes. And I was like, that really hurts.
Yeah. Like it's kind of depressing to think like that, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I get it, like, because we have a business, you know, like
How about you hold that thought, because we really need to go to another break.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm really sorry.
We'll be right back.
That's kind of just how it is.
That's kind of just how it is. You're the man now.
This podcast is sponsored by Relevant, a location-based mobile network personalized by your interests. Customize your news feed to consolidate all the information you care about all in one place to quickly and easily find what's relevant to you. Find out what's going on in your local area and reach your community from the palm of your hand. Relevant is available on iOS and coming soon to Android. Be the first to know with Relevant.
And we're back.
Hey, what's up, man?
How you doing?
How are you liking running the board?
It's okay. It's going all right. Cut that ad short. It's fine. No one's actually listening.
I thought it was over. I believe you. Yeah, no, I was just saying, like, I kind of get it, because you got to do stuff to stay afloat. You know, everybody's got to get theirs to keep their companies, you know, running, and sometimes you have to make sacrifices creatively or whatever to keep the lights on, you know, and you got to compromise your vision or whatever you want to do in order to make that happen. And I see that'll happen a lot, and it kind of sucks because now being kind of more a part of that process and a part of those industries, I see it a lot easier now when it does happen. You're like, oh, yeah, they did that because of this reason, because somebody told them to, or because they had to, or, you know, things like that. Yeah, it's interesting. And even like, I think we've had to do things like that already, just having Lab 212 for the little time that we have had it. And there's a lot of stuff that I think we've done that, like I'm proud of a lot of it, you know. I'm excited for what we're doing now and in the future, but it's been hard. There's been a lot of ups and downs and obstacles, and that's just kind of like, that's just part of the process, you know, of making something like this work. And I get not everything you're gonna knock out of the park, you know, just like a lot of these studios don't, you know, elsewhere. But I don't know. You just gotta, you keep at it, and hopefully you'll strike some gold at some point, you know. That's really all we're trying to do.
That sounds a lot less positive than I think you actually feel.
No, I mean, I am very positive about what, like, everything we're doing, but it's just the kind of thing, like, you're always, you know, because like we have a business, we have the entertainment stuff we do too, like this
You're
show.
talking like making compromises and stuff.
Yeah, well, making compromise, just all of it, man. It's like all such a push and pull thing, you know.
Yeah, when
you're making stuff just for yourself and you're just like a single creator or whatever, like it's so easy. I remember Peruso, one of my film professors at El Tri-C, he was like, you know, right now it's so easy because you are the end all be all judge, jury, executioner of everything you make right now as a single individual making indie stuff. And that's going to stop very soon. If you do want to go into the industry and you do want to start collabing and making it, you know, that goes out the window. And then all of a sudden you have to make compromises. There's a give and take all the time. Like, you are no longer going to be that role ever again, you know, because that's just not how those processes work, you know. And I feel that now, even, you know, where it's like, man, that's not maybe how I would have done it, but I don't have the time to do it myself, you know. It's like there's a lot of moments like that we have where you're just like, you just got to roll with the punches and you got to work with what you got, and it's not always optimal and it's not always like what you'd prefer maybe, but I don't know, it's better than, I think it's still better than being on your own, and it's better than not making anything at all.
Yeah, you know, it's not really something that it's something I think about, but it's not really something that I necessarily lose sleep over, because I try to think like, you know, this is what is best for the team. You know what I mean? And that's the thing that I stress about the most.
Yeah.
So if I think that
Same.
that's the direction that we're going, I'm fine with it. You know, there's a line, of course, you know, you don't make Pet Cemetery.
Yeah.
As long as we don't do that, I think it's fine. You know what I mean?
It's like, when are we going to sell out already?
Sure.
Come on.
Yeah.
I'm waiting. Yeah, no, it's definitely like, I mean, we have 7 people on this team, including myself. But yeah, I'm always trying to think of that. It's like, it's the brand, it's the whole team, you know. You got to leave some of your stuff at the door, you know, for sure. But yeah, like, it's just, I don't know. When we started doing this like a year ago, has it actually?
If you want to talk about Lab 212, it's about a year.
It's a year. We've been doing the show for longer, but yeah, when we started this a year, it's actually, I just remembered, it's like the anniversary.
3 days. In 3 days, it's our anniversary.
In 3 days, it's our anniversary. That's
the
crazy.
Reggie Awards.
That's crazy. You know, just thinking of that, like all of the stuff we've been through already, and all of the, I don't think I expected it to be as challenging as it's ended up being, but it's also very rewarding at the same time. But
challenging in what way?
Just because, like, man, when you are doing this, like, we, you know, a media production company, we have a lot of hands in a lot of different cookie jars, doing a lot of different types of work with a lot of different types of people. You know, there's so much to juggle. It's draining. And for me, like, managing a team and everything like that, like, it's a lot of stuff going on. It's a lot of moving parts to be aware of constantly. Like, it's a 24/7 thing. Yep. And I don't think I knew that when I started all of it, you know, like, it wasn't something I really thought of at all. But now that it's happening, like, I wouldn't change it. But it definitely took me by surprise, you know? Yeah. And maybe it shouldn't have. Maybe I was naive to think that it would be easier than this, you know?
Yeah.
But it's like...
It's funny because when you left, not that I thought it would be like a certain, like, easy or hard, but it was... I can't remember what you had just said, but it was like you didn't expect it was like at the intensity that it was right away until you're like, okay.
Yeah. Oh, right. Okay. It's happening. Yeah. It's all on me. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard. And it is what it feels like. It's like, it's always on your shoulders, like the whole weight of the world, you know, and all the decisions that get made. And it's pretty crazy. But I think my biggest thing that I learned a little bit after it was maybe 6 months ago or something, I was talking to Tremaine Tatum, actually. The one time. He's a great dude. He's helped me along a lot of stuff, helped us along a lot of stuff. He's the business entrepreneur center dude at Ultra IC. And, you know, he was just like, man, part of doing this and part of being an entrepreneur and like running a business is just like, you make mistakes, man. Yeah. And you can't be afraid to make those mistakes, because like that's what's going to get you from point A to point B. Like, that just has to happen. Mm-hmm. And you shouldn't be afraid of it, because you're not going to avoid it. So you just got to be like, you just got to be chill. You just got to be calm, you know, and expect things are going to go wrong. Things are going to get messed up, but you're going to push through it. That's the only way that you're going to be successful, is if you can just keep going. Yeah. You know,
my big thing, like, don't stress about problems, stress about solutions.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. That's tough too. That was a tough thing. That was a tough thing at first to be like, I think I'm better at that now, but at first it was just like, oh, in hindsight now realize I was maybe doing that more, where I was like, oh, this thing went wrong, and I'm thinking about that thing that went wrong, and I'm more thinking about all the preventative measures I could have taken,
which is important,
a part of it, but it was like I should have spent more time about the solutions first, instead of backtracking that thing that went wrong. That was my first priority of like, how did this happen, so I could prevent it later. You know, I don't know, but you learn, and it's like a skill you have to develop to like. I don't know, dude. It's such a weird thing too, because it's not even, you can't track it. Like, you can't, like, the time that you spend on some of these things. It's just
why bother?
Countless hours just of consideration for even some of the smallest, minute details of things, you know?
That's kind of something you have to be fine with. Like, that's something you have to be comfortable with.
Yeah. I wouldn't tell any person, I wouldn't recommend they do this at all. Like, I would not just anyone just be like, yeah, just start a business. Like, just be an entrepreneur.
You know, I've talked to people who have wanted to do the sorts of stuff we do, and I'm like, honestly, chances are you got to make the work for you. And like, you got to do it. Like you just got to be that guy, you know, you have to have that initiative to just create those situations for yourself. Because otherwise, I mean, have fun.
Yeah,
good luck.
That's what we did. I mean, I was about to graduate L-Tri-C in a few semesters in the film program. I wasn't sure if I was going to transfer to another college, like what I wanted to do. But I saw it down the pipeline. I was like, well, there's not a lot of jobs around here for this field. You know, like I don't live in LA. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get out there anytime soon. Like, what am I going to do? And there's just kind of like, we just ended up getting together. I met cool people that were cool, really great at what they do and very motivated as well. And that was like the catalyst to just be like, let's just create our own work. You know, if the work isn't there, we'll make the work, you know? And somehow that has worked up until this point. I don't, we're just kind of really winging it, but it's gone well so far. But yeah, but it's such a full-time thing, you know? And that's why I wouldn't be like, I'm hesitant to tell people to attempt the same thing, because I think you have to be wired a certain way to be able to handle that. You know, like some people, it's just like going to a 9 to 5 where you go into work at 9 and when you get out at 5, that's it. That's your job. And then you don't have to worry about it anymore. You don't take it home with you. You're not doing homework. You're not worrying about it when you go to sleep because it's over. Like you leave it at the door when you leave that job, you know, like I sometimes think about that. I'm like, oh, that sounds great. Like, I kind of wish I had that. And for some people, like, that's probably the preferred way they would like to work.
Well, here's the thing, because I easily could have ended up doing something like that. But like, and we've talked about this before, like, we never woke up at one point. We were like, let's start a business. We want to be entrepreneurs. It just sort of like, it's just kind of a thing that kind of happened. And then, like, I know for me, the more I fell into the role, the more I was like, oh, well, yeah, that makes sense. Like, I have these qualities or these skill sets, and like, yeah, like that makes sense, you know?
I never thought I would have a business. I never thought I'd be an entrepreneur or have a business. I was always like, well, I'm an artist. I like art. I want to make that, you know, but I never thought of that as like doing a business of that. I just was like, I'll get employed somewhere.
Not that I was like, ew, but it was like never crossed my mind.
It just never crossed my mind. Yeah. It was never something on my radar. And then like you said, we didn't wake up and just wanted to do it. It was, and this is, from my knowledge, how it happens for most people, where they have an idea, they have something they want to do, and then that is a business. Like, it just kind of happens that way, you know? Like, you don't usually, most entrepreneurs don't go, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. It's just something you fall into because of the ideas or the qualities you have.
Well, there are people like that, though.
Yeah, no, for sure. That it is a part of it. But I mean, I don't know, a lot of people I met, I should say, and or stories I've heard of, you know, success stories or whatever, it's usually like, it starts with the idea. It doesn't as much start with like wanting to be an entrepreneur in general. But yeah, and so it's just weird how I said for the first 5 months after Lab 212 started, I would tell my friends, I'd be like, yeah, so I accidentally started a company. Because that's really what it felt like. It was just like, oh no, what? It was like when it was at the point of no return, and I realized what I was doing. I was like, oh no, dude, I'm making a company. What's going on? And that's not.
And it was almost like a stress relief. Like I had to get off my chest, sort of thing, you know?
My family is still like, what? You have a company? And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard for, it's something, that's something that a lot of, I think, team members here still are struggling with at times, is getting everyone in their lives to understand what they're doing. Like, I just had the conversation with my grandparents this week where I actually explained what I do. Because they, like, I'd said it before and tried to explain it before, but I don't think they really took me seriously.
Yeah.
But now that I've been doing it for over a year, they're like, I guess it's actually a thing. Like, because I keep telling them more and more serious stuff that we're getting into, and they're like, I guess it is real. Like, I guess I have to start listening and like taking it seriously.
He's not just testing out a script idea with us.
Yeah. So that's just been weird. It's surreal, honestly, because sometimes I still have like the imposter syndrome kind of about it, where I'm like, yeah, but I'm not actually running a company, or like I'm not actually working with, you know, companies out in LA, or like we're not actually doing shoots for like reputable businesses and companies and public entities, you know, just like but we are, it's like, it's weird.
That just happened to me too, because I applied for a job and they were like, oh, I see you work for a production company. And I was like, actually, my friends and I started that. And they were like,
did you tell them that?
Yeah. Yeah, I did say that. And they were like very impressed. They were probably like, why are you here? Like,
yeah, it's
waiting tables is my passion.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get away from that whole production company thing. It's real dumb. Yeah, so I don't know, man. It's cool. It's been, and even days like today where everything goes wrong.
You gotta be chill, Tremaine, right?
Gotta roll with it, and everybody's sick or not in the state, or something like that. It's just like, hey, man, the show must go on.
I wonder how that felt.
Yeah. Yeah. I was actually I was just listening to the rerun that came on a second before we started this. And I was actually at the time in the hospital for mono in Florida then. And it's just funny how those things were. Now I'm back and now everyone else is gone and the shoe's on the other foot now. So now I get to talk bad about everybody who's not here.
Right. Yeah. Any words you want to get in then?
Fools.
Yeah.
Patrick, Oregon's dumb. Amrest, take some airborne. Just take some vitamin C.
Josh, what's in Delaware anyway?
What's in Delaware, dude? Water Gap?
All right, we actually have to end this. So I'm coming up on an hour here.
For sure.
Thanks for bearing with me, everybody. Jeez.
Thanks so much for running the board, Zach. You did a fantastic job.
Well, it's not over yet. I still have another transition I have to make.
That's true.
So.
You could just totally crash and burn right now.
Yeah.
Lizzy, thanks for being on the camera. Thanks for chiming in.
You're welcome.
Thanks everyone for watching, listening. Like I said, guys, we're doing a lot of stuff. We got we have new vlogs coming out every week.
TSWNP is coming back. I promise. There's a good reason that's not been there. I don't want to spoil it.
TSWNP is coming back.
That's still going to be a thing, which I'm excited for.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, we never talked about that.
No.
Don't say it.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. Yeah, so I know it's like sometimes, maybe it seems like there's a lull in what we're doing, or we're slowing down, but it's actually the opposite. We're actually doing so much more. It's just happening off camera a lot, and it's just stuff we have to like kind of get together and scheduling and everything like that. It's just pretty crazy. So it is full steam ahead, don't get me wrong. And we do have a lot of stuff in the pipeline, so I'm really excited for that. So yeah, stay tuned, and I think it's going to be lit. Thanks for sticking around this long. Poorly Edited Podcast, signing out. Thanks so much.